Well, good morning. Welcome back to Cityline. If you saw on the wide shot, you saw two people huddled in talking with me, and that is exactly how I like it, because these two people represent an organization that never sleeps, and they are not 911 operators. Nope, I'm talking about WorkForce Central. And if you don't know what WorkForce Central does, well, buckle up, Buttercup, because you're about ready to find out. Please join me in welcoming Katie Condit. You are the CEO of WorkForce Central. Welcome to the studio.
Well, thank you. It's wonderful to be here. I've been here virtually, but wow, nothing beats in person.
I know. Right when you got your job and you came up from Portland, I had you on our COVID Zoom. But this is wonderful. Thank you for being here. This man who I love and I adore, and he knows that whatever he asks of me, the answer is yes. Tamar Jackson, Senior Director of Community Engagement. How are you?
I'm good.
I love that.
I'm good.
You know, when I've had you on before, you were not senior. You just were the director. So you have received a promotion.
I grew up a little bit.
You did.
I grew up a little
Also, before I start peeling back the layers of goodness here on WorkForce Central, I want to say congratulations. You have been awarded a City of Destiny Award for teamwork on the project that benefits the community the most. This is huge, and as I said to you in the green room, this is the ability to harness people and their passion and their love and what drives them, which sometimes can be either a hurt or a passion, and to make the world a different place. And you guys did that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a small amount of what you've been doing, but I'm so impressed. And I can't wait to be there in the audience and do some Arsenio Hall cheering. Okay, so Katie, tell us about the work that you do as Executive Director to support the Pierce County community.
Absolutely. Oh, it's such an honor to be here. You know, so WorkForce Central we think of ourselves as the bridge between employers, businesses, and job seekers in the community. You know, we know while unemployment is tight, we still have thousands of people in Pierce County who are looking for work. And we also have hundreds of businesses who are looking to fill positions. And so we really sit at the nexus of that, work directly with businesses.
One of my favorite words.
Mine too. Directly with job seekers to ensure that there is a meaningful pathway toward alignment between the two, and that folks can find jobs that are good, that provide a living wage, and that provide them with a sense of fulfillment in the region.
Yeah, we're not trying to recreate Alice families, as Donna Panapito would say. We're trying to lift people out of working poverty and have them have a career and a home here in Tacoma. So Tamar, how is Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force, that's a mouthful, connected to the WorkForce Central?
So the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force is the community engagement arm for WorkForce
There
Central.
we go. Okay.
So WorkForce Central is that backbone, but it still allows us to be built by and for the community. So as Katie stated earlier, you know, we are workforce development, but we do also understand without addressing other issues that some of the community members may have, like transportation and mental health, those things like that, we can't do the best of our ability to actually make sure that we are getting people to progressive wage jobs.
Yeah, a weekend does not go by that I do not catch a glimpse on social media of the community engagement task force out there in the community, lifting people up, leaving them better than they found them, educating them, giving them basic supplies for their life. But also, I see people handing out their cards and saying, call me on Monday. We're going to get you in and get you working on that resume, and we're going to get you to work. Tomorrow, you have an event coming up. Well, WorkForce Central has one called, I love this phrase, the Lens of Equity Summit.
Absolutely.
I feel like there should be a drum roll. Tell us about that. First off, tell folks the sad news.
It's sold out.
It's sold out.
It's sold out. You know, this is our first summit. It started as a mini series, and we thought that it could go bigger than that because of the conversations that we're discussing, which is around diversity, equity, access, and inclusion. So many people say DEI, but we believe in that A in access, because without it, the other things really don't exist. They're sort of just top to bottom type conversation. And we wanted to go beyond that. So when we talk about our summit, it's not going to be surface level conversation.
Okay.
This is going to be real conversation. This is going to be work. You know, I think so many people get stuck on organizations that are trying to do this work. The organizations aren't successful without the people believing in this work.
Oh, you said
So those conversations are going to be very different. They're going to be real. They're going to be raw. I mean, if it hurts, it hits you. And that's okay too. So, you know, Katie says it all the time, is we'd rather you fall gracefully than aggressively fall backwards.
Yes.
And so we're going to come together that day, May 18th. It's going to be incredible. Big shout out to Clover Park as one of our big sponsors and partners as well. It's going to be a great day. So if you get an opportunity, come out there and come have fun with us.
Well, since it's sold out, which kind of bums me out because I wasn't an early bird and got my ticket. Who will be attending the summit? You had mentioned you had mentioned the community and the people who work in the community and businesses. Who else?
You know, before I used to sit and be very prideful on who was going to be there.
Yeah.
But I think the community's coming.
That's all that matters.
I think that's the big one. The community is coming.
Yeah.
So if you are part of Pierce County, you will be there. We're not looking at titles. We're not looking at any of that. We're looking at the work. And the work that day, we're all part of Pierce County's community.
And one of the things that Tamar and his team done is to actually carve out at least 20 seats for young adults in our community. So
Thank
folks
you.
will be coming from our schools, young people of color and young people who have also had different various lived experiences in their lives and will be right front row attending. That was a priority for you.
And I think it should be a priority. You know, our youth in our community, they struggle with this more than we think they do. And so to give them an opportunity to be able to be in a room to recognize that their social network is their civic worth is completely different.
Say that again.
Their social network is their civic worth.
There we go. I hope you're getting a t-shirt on that. That's a good one.
Oh, he gets a t-shirt on everything.
I'm gonna get a t-shirt.
A t-shirt. Yeah, it is. So this is a huge question, and I'm going to ask both of you this question because I think I want both of your points of view. Tomorrow, I want you to go first. What impact do you hope this event to have on our community?
I hope that we take measurables away from this work. You can't measure this work by tick marks. You can't measure this work by how many people did something. This is hard work.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's my big takeaway is to believe in this work more and stop trying to measure the work off of marking the boxes. We got to stop checking boxes and actually get into this work.
Just do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you, Katie? How are you going to measure this now that it's sold out in terms of its impact on the community?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that. And for me, this work isn't new. We didn't invent this work. This work has been led by and for community for years and years and decades, frankly. A measure of success for me would be to see people at these tables who we don't typically see, engaging with the private sector and businesses who, yes, have a bottom line to meet and, yes, have a vision for what their business is doing in the community, but recognizing that they no longer can do this without thinking about equity and without thinking through that lens. And so for me, success will be to see the diversity of industry, the diversity of experience, the diversity of organizations at a table that hasn't always been as inclusive or as engaged as it in the past.
Yeah. Tamar, when you say hard conversations, I think about that phrase of hurt people. And I think that hurt people also have a lot to say and therefore a lot of solutions. And it goes back to lowering their barriers. So when we think about people getting there and people having hard conversations, and there's going to be breakout groups, correct? And are there going to be speakers?
Speakers? Oh man, come on now. we got a lineup that's going to be crazy. I mean, bringing the homegrown Jamad Canley as a keynote speaker, Emmy nominated Christian Page.
Yes.
Bringing in from New Orleans, Ronaldo Hardy, We have an amazing panel of women, Dr. Tafana Irving, Krista
Genius.
Perez, Narinda Yancey, Carissa Thompson. I mean, the lunchtime panel, you know, with Katie Condit on there as well, hosted by Shelley Willis. I mean, this is going to be completely different, you know, and everybody that's going to be there believes in this work. And I think, you know, recognizing that you don't always have to lead it and lead that conversation, but you have to leave them with DEAI at the end of that conversation.
Yes.
You know, and so knowing that everybody's voice can be heard, knowing that everyone's allowed to be uncomfortable, and I think setting that tone of a culture shift, you know, me and Katie talk about a culture shock. What does it really look like to embed this work? But it's different when you live for it rather than trying to continuously teach it. It's sort of like looking for a purpose rather than living in your purpose, you know?
Absolutely. This last minute, who do we need to thank? And tomorrow I'm going to start with you first, and then Katie, you can finish it.
Oh, man. The WorkForce Central family, you know, first and foremost, you know, the team, the leadership, past, present, future from the task force, this community for believing in us and wanting to work with us. Just big thanks to Pierce County.
Yeah, absolutely. Katie, what would you add to that?
So Tamar, you say this all the time, but the task force exists based on the extra amount of time people in this community are willing to put in.
Boy,
so
that's it.
The folks engaged have full-time jobs, they have families at home, and they have recognized that even above and beyond that, if we don't make space for alignment and partnership and do this work together, then we're not going to move the needle, and we're not going to have that systemic change that we're working towards. So just the members who have committed countless hours to the task force, to alignment, to work above and beyond their daily jobs. That's what's moved this mountain.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you both, because this is a ministry. It's 24/7. And all the people we could not get on this couch to say thank you also. Because truly, the two of you wake up every day and you stand in the solution. And the solution can be heartbreaking and it can be prickly, but it is still the solution, and you still come back at it. So thank you so much. I'll see you at the Lens of Equity. I'll be outside going, need a ticket, need a ticket.
Scalpers.
Scalpers.
Scalping tickets out
That's
there.
it, scalping tickets for the Lens of Equity. When we come back, Carlin and Christina will be in the house. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.